Very good evening, everyone. You're watching Chris on Real Talk. It is Monday, the 14th of September 2020. And for those of you that are wondering, hang on a minute, why is Chris doing a live in his car in portrait mode? Because I can't be asked to sit and hold my phone up the right way round, is the answer to that. If you're wondering why I'm looking a little bit hot and sweaty, it's because I am very hot and sweaty. I've just finished the gym, been listening to a little bit of talk radio. But what I want to find out, what I want to know is, with the new rules and regulations that are in place today, the rule of six, which, oi, 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 Sergeant Major Patrick Harper, but the rules of six, which is different for every nation in the UK. Sam, hi. Are you going to be following the rule of six? I personally, I am, although I'm not going to see much of a difference. The corona cases are going up in the UK. We're over 3,000 a day confirmed cases at the moment, which I think is to be expected. But the death rate is a lot lower than what it was this time in February and March. Could that be down to new treatments? Could it be because people are building some kind of an immunity? I don't know. I'd like to think it was down to different treatments, to be fair. But the cases are on the rise, and I said this was going to happen, and it is happening, unfortunately. But the rule of six, and the thing is, the government are encouraging people to grass on their neighbours for not following guidelines. I'm not a fan of being a grass. However, I won't say anything if there's 10 people, a family and friends. If there's kids there, you know, I'm not going to say it. However, if I'm walking the dog in the park, keeping myself to myself, and I see a group of people having a grass party, take that however you want to have it, and there's a little gazebo up, and there's a barbecue, and there's about 25, 30 people there, bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be the biggest snake in the grass. I am. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Because if people had done as they were told to start with, when lockdown first happened, when people were told stay at home, don't go outside, don't socialize, don't do this, don't do that. If people had done as they were told to start with, then maybe we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. I know the last time I've done a video having a rant about this, I picked on a few different groups for not social distancing. I'm also going to start picking on the people that decided to go to the beach. And this is all the way along from when lockdown first went in up until now. People have been swarming to Britain's great coastlines. And yes, it's nice to have a day out at the beach, at the seaside, at the, Hastings, Dymchurch, Blackpool, whatever. But be sensible. Seriously, I've been to the seaside twice. The first time we went to Dymchurch, it was reasonable. And I said to the missus and the kids, if it's packed when we get there, or if it becomes packed to a point where I feel uncomfortable, we're going home. Fact, the only other time I've been was I went to Hastings last week to remember my my late cousin Mark. Hastings was one of his favourite places in the world, and he died 7 years ago, and we scattered his ashes in Hastings 7 years ago, and we go there every year to remember him. But when we went, we found that Hastings Old Town was weren't too bad, but you walk down the road and you turn right and you go to the shops. I'm telling you, people don't social distance. My mum and dad went down to Whitstable yesterday to see some family, and people weren't social distancing. It's like a different world. You go out of London and people just don't care. But that's my perception of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the rule of six, I personally am gonna keep to that myself. If it's a group of up to 10 people, including kids, yeah, I'll forgive that. Start taking the piss, and yeah, you know what? I'm going to say something. Go home. It's like parents that let their kid, like where I live, there's about 8 or 9 kids are constantly in each other's faces, constantly bickering, playing, up and down the stairs, blah, blah, blah. They don't go to the same school. They don't live in the same house. They are just friends. However, that's not social distancing, is it? Just because kids don't get it as often doesn't mean kids don't get it. Do you see where I'm going with this? If people would start being just a bit more sensible, if people were more sensible and used a bit more common sense to start with, then we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. And to be honest with you, I'm beginning to think there's going to be another nationwide lockdown. And that's going to be a massive, massive, massive kick in the teeth for people that are currently furloughed. Like myself, I'm still furloughed. There's 44 days left of furlough. Did you know that? 44 or 45, give or take. And when furlough's done, furlough is done. There's no second furlough. There'll be no, well, shielding maybe, but people like myself that were told to shield and shielding finished, and I was furloughed because I was shielding, I'm not going to get told, oh, Mr. Staveley, you're going to have to go and shield again, because I can't afford to do that. I'm going to have to literally, at that point, choose wealth over my health. Because if I have to start shielding and go on sick pay, I genuinely cannot afford to pay my bills on sick pay. That's not going to happen. You see, being someone who is at high risk, and for those that don't know, those that haven't followed my story, that haven't checked any of my other videos out, I am classed as high risk because this time last year, and it has been a whole year, this time last year, I was getting ready for my second round of chemotherapy. And I did. I had cancer. I had Burkitt's lymphoma, cancer of the blood. And my immune system still isn't up to par, so they say. So I am of a high risk. And just because shielding has officially finished doesn't mean I should stop shielding. I literally go out to the gym. And the only reason I go to the gym is because the amount of cleaning products they have in there and the protocol they have in place, I feel comfortable going there. If it wasn't clean, if it wasn't safe as it can be, I wouldn't go. It's as simple as that. Now, the thing is, if the nation does go onto a nationwide lockdown again, and it's a big if, and people are not able to be furloughed, then there's going to be an absolute mass of unemployment, people being made redundant. The unemployment figures in this country are going to be astronomical. Absolutely. And who have we got to blame for that? Who will we have to blame because of the second peak in coronavirus? Every single one of you COVIDiots out there who thought the rules didn't apply to you. That's who we're all going to blame. So the government can say, we're going to blame all of the 18 to 30-year-olds and everyone that went out and had a drink and went to the beach. You can blame absolutely everyone that fell under that list. You've got people that went to the beach, people that had house parties, garden parties, protesters for the left, protesters from the right. You've got people that went out to the pub when the pubs reopened. And the thing is, before pubs reopened, I'll tell you what pubs were doing in Crystal Palace. Because they weren't officially allowed to let people in, they were still open, but taking orders and bringing alcohol to people on the streets, encouraging people to drink outside. And because there was no so much rules, so to say, for social distancing outside back then, there was an absolute barrage of people hoarding the streets, getting pissed without social distancing. And this is before pubs officially reopened. This is why we are in the position we're in, because people didn't have any common sense. People didn't think, hang on a minute, there's something not quite right here. I'm going to leave it this time and I'm going to go home, make myself a cup of cocoa, watch a bit of telly. That was it. And the thing is, for me personally, on a personal level, when I eventually go back to work, and I am going to go back to work eventually, more than likely within the next 45 days, because I can't be on furlough forever. I hope the nation goes back onto full lockdown for selfish reasons, because if my work, right, and the legislation states on the Gov website that if you're of a high risk and then you have to go back to work, your employer must try to accommodate you for either working arrangements in terms of hours. So for me, I requested for when I go back an early shift. If that can't be accommodated, then they must find alternative arrangements for me, as I am of a high risk nature or health wise. So if they can't do either of those, I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to pay me for being off? That's forcing me to go sick, because if they can't accommodate me working in a safe environment, what's going to happen then? So if lockdown does happen again, national lockdown, full lockdown, and I'm forced to go back to work, that's blinding, because the buses are going to be empty apart from key workers. Welcome key workers, welcome NHS workers, welcome everyone that keeps the country ticking over. People that work in supermarkets, bus drivers, police, ambulance staff, firefighters, all you key workers out there, especially you workers that work in supermarkets, you're fantastic people. You're welcome on my bus. I don't care. Fine, not a problem. But when it gets to a point where I'm forced to go back to work and I'm in a position where I feel really, really, really uncomfortable because people aren't following the rules. And I've got a bus that's Ramo because people don't want to say, listen, when I say, look, stop, please, please, the bus is full. Can you please wait for the next one? And you cram onto my bus and you don't wear a mask and you start coughing at everyone. Believe me, I'm going to be livid beyond belief. Polite, believe me, I'll be polite to you, but I'm going to be angry, so angry. So I'm going to eat my spinach and flex my muscles. Yes, I am. I'm not going to be very happy at all. So I hope when I go back to work, all you idiots out there that decided to not follow the rules, you put the country back on lockdown, because that'll do me a favour. That'll keep me safe in my job with fewer people on the bus. You see, a friend of mine whose son goes to secondary school. I'm not going to mention her names because she does watch these videos from time to time. Unfortunately, there is a case of coronavirus in her son's school in year 10. Now, I'm not going to say what school that is because that's just going to start spreading panic. However, the school should be dealing with it in a hopefully good way. All the year groups are separated into individual bubbles, and teachers shouldn't be interacting with other teachers from other year groups. So what I'm led to believe is that entire year, year 10, is to be sent home, test, quarantine. That's what I think is happening. But we'll wait and see if this works. Light on the situation. Yeah, a little bit of light on the situation. So we'll wait and see. But please let me know. I mean, maybe some of these comments. I've got 10 people watching. I've got quite a few people watching for a change. Hi, everybody. Roy West. Hello, mate. Lee Jones. Hi, Chris. How are you? I'm good. Bit hot and sweaty. I do need a bath. I do stink a little bit. I've just finished the gym. Hi, Mucker. Who said, let me turn the brightness down up on this phone. Hang on a minute. Hang on a cotton picking minute. There's the brightness up. This right. Seeking Truths. Hi, Mucker. Hello, mate. Ashwath Ganesh. Sorry if I butchered your name. I was difficult to read without my glasses. Do you go back to work now? No, I've just explained that, but you did ask that before I went on my waffle. We have rule of 10 or 6 feet. Yeah, it's rule of 6 people, not rule of 6 feet. Rule of 6 is ridiculous in a school environment, especially considering in my sixth form, we are sitting normally in classroom, yet when we leave the gate, we can't. It just needs to be consistent. Yeah, it does. I don't think you should be sitting two students on a desk next to each other. If you've got a rectangle desk, you sit one here, you sit one on the opposite side facing, with a plastic sheet between the two. Common sense on my part. What schools choose to do is another what is up to them. Francis, hello mate. I do know it's you don't have to keep repeating yourself. I do know you on here, and I know you're only down the road from me. Stay safe yourself, by the way. Yeah, you said nice words. You've done the right thing. Yo, Dizzy Hacker 02, what's going on? Chris, you've done so well. I have tried. This video has made me realise. Let me try that again in English, Sergeant Major Pack Typer. This video has made we realise that I missed you. Oh, thanks for that. I've been keeping myself to myself a little bit, but I'm going to try and come back. I might do a live from my computer with all the fancy graphics and stuff tomorrow. Depends on how I'm feeling in the morning. How you doing, pal? I was out today with my face covering. Good. I hope you're wearing your face covering. Remember, for those of you naysayers out there, when it comes to masks, the masks aren't to protect you. The mask or face covering is to protect other people, because if you cough into a mask or face covering, there's a very good chance that face covering is going to catch whatever comes out of your mouth. Then you can dispose of that in a zip bag, plastic bag. Very important you do that. Or put it in a plastic bag. If it's washable, take it home, stick it in the washing machine with all your other clothes on a hot wash. Remember that. So the face covering isn't a form of control. It isn't a form of let's get people to do this because we can. It isn't to protect you. It is definitely to protect other people. And by doing that, it does protect you when other people wear it. Also, I'd be pissed if I wanted like that on my butt. Yeah, I know it's annoying. At my school, we sit right next to each other. Right, Dizzy Hacker, in your school, if you sit next to each other, what you can do is say to your teacher, I am a student in this school and this school needs to be COVID secure. I do not feel that this school is fulfilling its obligation as a COVID secure environment. I wish to be seated on my own. And if they can't accommodate that, then what you do is you take that to your headmaster. If the headmaster fails to comply with your request for a safe learning environment, then you report it to a health and safety executive. Bosh, that's how you do that. Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. Stuart, bus driver, says, good to see you back, mate. Yes, I am back. I haven't gone anywhere. I've just kept myself to myself while the kids were off school. In school, very often sitting next to someone, we are required to face forward towards the front of the class, and we can't talk to each other. Do you think they are following that? No. Of course not. Not being funny. A lot of school kids are absolutely thick as a plank half the time. Unfortunately, kids that are thick as a plank often take after their thick as a plank parents. So, you know, there you go. So what I'm going to try and do is keep everyone up to date with what's going on with my exercise situation. So let me turn that radio down. There we go. So me and the missus got a little bit of a target to get ourselves fit and down to a target weight. And it's about balanced at the moment with us losing weight and getting fit at the same time. So I can tell you now, I'm a third of the way there, and I had to lose 1.5 stone. I need to get down to 13 stone 5 or as close to it as possible. I don't mind gaining weight if I'm going to be putting on muscle. So if anyone out there is a fitness buff, or if anyone out there can give me some pointers, because when I go to the gym, I spend either 20 minutes on the treadmill or 40 odd minutes on the bike doing a bit of cardio. Then the rest of it is resistive, pull down, curling, chest press, squats, this, that, and the other. So I'm trying to get fit, build muscle, lose weight. If anyone out there can give me some pointers, if you've managed to make it to this part of the video, thanks for watching. I'd really appreciate the help on that. Anyway, I'm going to go because I need to drive home and have a bath because I absolutely stink. Absolutely stink. And I need to wash my clothes. So you lot have an absolutely cracking Monday evening. Stay at home if you can. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Phone your mum. Phone your nan. Phone your friends. Tell everyone you love them. Tell them about this video. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't like it, tell me the reason why. Have a fantastic evening.